Hello, good evening and welcome to the Virtual Racers Club. Sunday evening, we're live with the HPEC, the HPEC, the Hybrid Performance Endurance Championship. It's round 7 from Brazil. I've got to talk really quick because I've got about 2 minutes before they set up the grid and they go. I was toodling around, not doing very much. Happy Father's Day for the fathers out there. That's the special part of this stream, the Father's Day part. Me saying Happy Father's Day. Well done for ejaculating. Really, that's pretty much the work of a dad. So congratulations, guys, on that. I know you brought them up as well, but she did most of the work. Let's all face it. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up any kind of. We're having a bit of a 5-minute delay, I think, because Pat is on a struggle to get here. So that's good. That gives me more time. I buy some time there. Ka-ching. Let me get to the intro so I can tell you the ins and the outs and the ups and the downs and the rounds and the bouts. So, here we go. HPEC stands for Hybrid Prototype Endurance Championship and is a modern Group 1 league focusing on the cutting-edge post-2012 Group 1 cars and long tactical races. HPEC is one of the most demanding leagues going in the VRC, where every 10th counts on every lap. Drivers will need to master their machines, requiring in-depth knowledge of their car, the circuit and hybrid technology to make the most on race day. Right, it's a 90-minute race. No live chat on YouTube. Oh, I don't know how to do it. Yeah, again, no live chat. That's the Talleyrand thing. He seemed to have changed it last time. I don't know anything I can do with that. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it seems to be happening every time now. But yeah, I don't know how this action is turned off. Learn more. Hey, this is interesting for you. And I keep looking up and we're not following a car around. They keep going into the pits. Oh, see, now this is watching made for kids, autoplay on home, cards or end screens. I don't know. It looks like there's not much I can do about it. I can message one of the bosses and ask, but I don't know if there's anything anyone can do. It seems to be a new YouTube thing, but it was happening on the Max 5s, and I'm sure Talleyrand did something to make it come on, so I'll just quickly send him a message. It is there. Look, I can't text and talk at the same time, sorry, so you have to do with silence. Is there a way to turn chat on YouTube? Right, that's it. That's all I'm sending. I don't expect anything. He's probably busy at home doing his thing, so you can hear me, and if you can't type things to me, then that's a shame. But see, something was coming up as red, and I don't know where. In the admin chat, no live chat in YouTube. Talleyrand, live chat gone again, says Skyjack. Yeah, that's it. So you're all up to date. Let me get you with the table. Yeah, it's a 90-minute race, and they're allowed to use soft tyres once, one stint in the whole thing. And also the grid is the opposite, the reverse of the table, which I am trying to find so I can tell you now. And then we're all up to date. There's no problem. We're at Interlagos. I don't know if I said 2.677 miles. Someone else has gone in the blooming pits. 15 turns, race length is 90 minutes, time of day setting in-game will be 6:45 in the evening. Take care into turn 1. If there is an incident on the opening lap that involves 3 or more cars, a red flag can be called, and racing room is expected at all times. Something's gone wrong with the internet now, and the YouTube seems to have disappeared altogether. Here we go, opening it again. And because it went off, no, there's still no live chat. I thought something might have happened. Anyway, let's get on with the table, shall we? Because we've still got 3 minutes. I can get through the table in 3 minutes, easy peasy. At the top of the table is Matt Psycho. Has he got 16 on the back of his name? He has. Do you know what? I don't think I've ever noticed a 16 behind his name. I must just ignore it. But yeah, Matt Psycho is at the top of the table with 106 points. Binko is second on 100 points. Racer Brown is third on 96 points, but Racer Brown has already dropped a round by missing a round. So it's only 10 points behind Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho needs to get maximum distance away from Racer Brown before the drop scores come into it. In fourth is Skyjacker on 77 points. Daz in fifth on 59 points. IR Graham is sixth, dropping because he's not raced a few rounds, into sixth on 51 points. Rivixter is seventh on 47 points. Pat is 8th on 44 points. Jim 9th on 42 points. Rido is 10th on 16 points. Cymex 11th on 12. Kale on 12th on 12. M4, he only came for the one round, is 13th on 8. And Pop, also only doing one round, is 14th on 7 points. So that's the table. Sorry, you can look at them on the website www.virtualracersclub.co.uk, and all the tables for all of our championships are on there for you to check out. How are you all doing? You having a good Father's Day? It's been alright, I've enjoyed it. Chocolates, I had Ferrero Rocher. I had, I've already slammed down my Milky Bar for the Milky Bar kids, and I had some licorice all sorts and a cool Marvel t-shirt. There you go. And oh man, the most sensational bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich you could possibly dream of. Oh, look at that skyline, that's beautiful in the background there. So Skyjacker is asking if we're ready. Pat's in the room. I think I can see 8 excuse me, 8 people. I'll try not to cough in your ear too much tonight. I'm getting better, it's just, you know, I smoke, which is my own issue. I don't feel sympathy for it, but when I have a cold, it goes on my chest. Totally my fault, and it's totally worth it, okay? What, for a couple of days of coughing me guts up? For a lifetime of absolute nicotine heaven. Come on. No contest. Right then, so we're all lining up, we're getting our ready. Getting our ready on. Pat last, Rivixter says. Question mark. I don't know. Pat looks alright to me. His Golf, a liveried Toyota, I believe. There you go. So I've got some deets as well. I've got some deets. Round 1, our race winner was Racer Brown, and second place was IRG, and in third place was Binko. In round 2, Matt Psycho was your winner, with Binko coming in second and IRG coming home in third. Round 3, IRG took his first win of the season, with Racer Brown in second and Matt Psycho down in third. Round 4 at the Red Bull Ring was Matt Psycho taking his second win, with Binko finishing in second, and Daz being the only one of these guys to be on the podium out there. So Daz. Round 5, sorry, at Fuji, Racer Brown took the win with Matt Psycho in second and Binko in third. And then round 6 last week at Suzuka, Racer Brown again taking the win with Matt Psycho in second and Binko in third. So Matt Psycho, he's got to take some of these wins from Racer Brown. Porsche v Toyota, Binko, he'll be wanting to get involved as well for this championship, to get this championship so tight. And they're the only two out there, Binko and Pat, the only two out there at the moment, as the counter counts down, ready for 90 minutes of pure fun-fueled racing here at Interlagos, Brazil. So we'll see a rolling start, and that's I think no, that's Jim in his Audi. The Audi is a beast, but Jim is slowly getting it under control as we wait for the lights, and they set off to a rolling start here. Interlagos, a very tight track. I imagine we're going to do quite a few laps here. Oh, a little slurp of my warm beverage as we're waiting for the big go, go, go. 3, 2, 1, and it's a go, go, go for round 7 of the HPEC, or the HPEC. I don't know what's more annoying. And Pat's come in with no brakes whatsoever. Oh my god. And Rivixter as well. The braking is catching the first 2 out. Jim staying steady. He stayed on track. Daz also making it through up into second. Skyjacker in third. Pat's got back on the road in fourth, with Racer Brown in fifth, aside with Matt Psycho. Binko in seventh, and Rivixter down there in eighth. That really caught them out in that first corner, I believe. And the Rivs, he's made a full use of that 2-second lead on Skyjacker. Skyjacker getting ahead of the Jim now. And Skyjacker looking tasty in these last few races in his Toyota. Daz just behind him in the Porsche. And then you've got Pat trying to fend off Racer Brown, but Racer Brown in the hairpin's gone up the inside. and he's through up into fourth, and Matt Psycho not wasting any time, but it looked like Pat there on a small spin, and Rivixter there getting another position while Pat gets his car back in order, and Jim's had a big one. Jim, oh my word, oh dear, Jim coming around the tight hairpins. It looks good there as he brakes for the second tight right-hander, and he's okay there. He's just coming out of the corner, the back end. What an annoyance for him. So Skyjacker then takes the lead, 9/10 ahead of Daz. Then we have Racer Brown in third with Matt Psycho in fourth place, Binko in fifth in the relentless Porsche. Then we have Jim in his Audi in sixth ahead of Rivixter, and Pat there in eighth place, 5.8 seconds behind the Rivs. It looks like they've all started on the medium tyres. They have. Go away. Throwing some pens away, it's alright. Skyjacker then, he's holding on to this lead, but Racer Brown catching up with Daz. Like I said, Daz, the only guy out there other than Racer Brown, Binko, Matt Psycho and IR Graham that has seen the podium this season. So on board with Racer Brown as we see him closing in on Daz, and like I said, the background looks absolutely luscious. If you're just watching this on a phone, you're not giving GTSport its full credit, because the background looks delicious. It really does. Brilliant stuff. You can see Racer Brown just can't quite get the adhesion he needs on track to get up alongside Daz. Daz making it very difficult for him on this lap, and that is giving Skyjacker a great opportunity to stretch his legs and pull away. We're only not even 3 minutes of racing yet, and there is Daz in second with Racer Brown 3/10 behind. Racer Brown's going to try and make the move in this first corner. I can feel it coming. No, he's too far back, he can't quite do it. Daz standing on those brakes as late as he possibly can to stay ahead of Mr. Brown. Racer Brown now right down this straight on his tailgate. This is the one with Matt Psycho just watching in the background. Racer Brown having a look. They're on the brakes, but Daz managing just to stay ahead of Racer Brown, and Racer Brown has it all to do again, and Matt Psycho drawing ever closer to these two right racing each other. And it's helping him out with Binko in fifth. Jim on a recovery. He's only 3.5 seconds behind Binko, and he's 4.6 seconds ahead of the Rivs. Rivixter 4.5 seconds ahead of Pat. Meanwhile, Skyjacker 1.7 seconds ahead of Daz and Racer Brown. There they all go through. I was going to try and continue that going, but there you go. Skyjacker 1.7 seconds ahead of Daz. Daz doing an absolutely immense job right now, keeping a Racer Brown at bay. Looking back from Daz's car, you can see a Racer Brown coming around and up the straight as they cross the line to start lap 3. Lap 4, sorry, they were still on lap 3. I thought we'd already crossed the line. And let's see the flames spurting out the back of Daz's car under braking into the first corner. He's keeping her steady, keeping it all under control right now. But here you can see down the straight under tow. This is where Racer Brown, car 86, gets to pull up nice and close, but not close enough to be able to get up the side. But Daz has had a bit of a wide one. And there you see Racer Brown comes through, and Daz loses position 2 to Racer Brown. Matt Psycho next on the track to look at the back of Daz's Alien. Is it Alienware car? He's got the Alienware one, hasn't he? Yes. And Matt Psycho on him already in the hairpins, not messing around at all. Only 5 minutes into this race, and we've got some action on the go. Binko pacing himself. One thinks maybe looking after his fuel, looking after his tyres. There's Matt Psycho going side by side with Daz. Daz got the inside line though. Matt Psycho's out wide, but can he get back on? He's got to brake harder. And there we see Daz just edging ahead of Matt Psycho. I think Matt Psycho had to brake a little bit too much to let Daz through. Found himself in a bit of no man's land, and it was either get out or clash, and I think he got out. But now Binko is sitting right on his huge air ducts, 2 big massive air ducts at the back there, and Binko having a look up the inside of Matt Psycho already early doors in this race. And there is Binko catching a big one. Absolutely catching a huge one there for Binko. Brilliant stuff. Skyjacker, meanwhile, only a second ahead of Racer Brown. Racer Brown did the fastest lap on lap 4 with a 1:20.735. Daz, meanwhile, holding off the Psycho for a little bit at the moment, with Binko 4/10 behind. Binko closing up on those guys. 5 seconds adrift is Jim, a 22.8 last time around. He's 5 seconds ahead of the Riv, who did a 22.9. Very close lap times from them too, and a 22.8 from Pat as well. So the back three on pace with each other. A 21.8 from Binko. Matt Psycho managing a 22.9 as he's on the tail of Daz again. Daz has been having to defend a lot in this race, and he's doing a cracking job at it at the moment. There we go. Oh, he slid it, he slid it, he slid it. He slowed it. And Daz dropping down into 5th whilst Matt Psycho and Binko scramble by. Cracking stuff. Meanwhile, Racer Brown is only 8/10 away from the leader of this race, Mr. Skyjacker, managing a 21.310 last time around, with Racer Brown doing a 20.7. He is ripping it up, tearing it up. I tell you, blood. I can't believe I ain't got no live chat. It's really unfortunate. I feel lonely when I can't hear you talking to me or see you chatting to me. I apologise. YouTube's having a bit of a weird one. Skyjacker, oh, here it comes. Here comes Racer Brown around the outside. He can't quite make it stick. So Skyjacker up the inside. Well, he's keeping on that inside, staying on the curbs, keeping Racer Brown, making Racer Brown do all the work. Racer Brown, he can't even see him in those C pillars, A pillars, I mean. He's looking for the best position to try and take Skyjacker. He's around about a second faster at this point in the race, but Skyjacker, a cracking defender if ever there was one. And Matt Psycho 3.8 seconds adrift of that battle, less than a second ahead of Binko. Well, they're just about to cross the line, so I'll tell you the lap times this time around rather than tell you their old ones. Here we go. He did a 21.6 his last time around, with Matt Psycho doing a 21.0. So Matt Psycho absolutely balls out there. Daz doing a 22.4, still within a second of the Binks. Jim, he's 6 seconds adrift of Daz now, and he's 4.7 seconds ahead of Rivixter. Edging closer, there goes Pat. Pat going faster than the two ahead of him with a 22.0. Pat is on the money at the moment to try and catch those guys up. And oh no, Racer Brown is ahead. Sorry, Racer Brown is ahead of Skyjacker. There we see them side by side going down into turn 3, 4, is it? I lose track. And there you go, that's how it was done. Racer Brown making the move on Skyjacker early doors, and Racer Brown is just going to run and hide, I imagine. Skyjacker 3.6 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. And Binko keeping Matt Psycho in close company, as is Daz. And it looks like there's some of them struggling, not Racer Brown, but some of them are struggling to get these lap times. And that Racer Brown is getting in his Toyota. I'd ask you what you think, but no one can say anything. So Racer Brown ahead by just 6/10. Oh no, there is chat. Hang on, I'll close my YouTube and open another one then. Obviously it's been sorted. Oh yeah, look, I can see he's put the top flag on as well. There we go. I'll reopen my YouTube and see what happens. Oh look, it's got live chat now. I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Talleyrand, hey, hi, Talleyrand, Skyjacker, woohoo. Racer Brown, hello everyone, happy Father's Day, and Rido saying evening all. Yes, it's working now, so you can say hello if you want. Always the last to know, eh? So Racer Brown is in the lead, 1.3 seconds from Skyjacker. Skyjacker's got a 3.6 second head start on Matt Psycho at the moment. Matt Psycho's got Binko 1 second behind him in 4th, and he's got 3.2 seconds. Daz was only a second behind, but he's lost a bit of time somewhere. Must be this lap, because he's been doing some good lap times. And Jim was 6 seconds behind Daz. There's no one pulled in a second. That'll be a lifting Jim's spirits in the only Audi out there. Excuse me. Rivixter 5 seconds from Jim, 22.9 from Rivs last time around. Jim doing a 22.5. So Rivs just needs to find them extra few tenths to catch them guys up. Pat 21.6, faster again than the guys ahead of him. Pat on an absolute push at the back of the grid. It's not the worst place to be in when you've still got an hour and 18 minutes of racing to go. And there is Racer Brown doing a 20.6 his last time around. He's pulled out nearly 2 seconds on Skyjacker. Skyjacker maintaining that 3 seconds ahead of Matt. Now, this is going to be very interesting. It is Racer Brown. Racer Brown's not used as much fuel up as Matt, but I think the Porsche is a thirstier car than the Toyota. As you can see, yes, both Skyjacker and Racer Brown not getting through as much fuel as a Matt Psycho and Binko. Daz, he's not doing too bad in the Porsche. With Jim in the Audi, he's doing okay with his fuel. Maybe he's saving. The Rivs, something similar. It's all about a quarter of a tank, but it just looks like that Matt Psycho and the Binks have used up a little bit more than those around them. And Racer Brown absolutely flying with it. Looks like another second, another 8 tenths lead is pulled out on Skyjacker. The man is immense. We should sit in car for a lap as we go through the first corner. See how he does it. Third gear, full acceleration coming out of there, up to fourth, getting onto the straight, heading down to the left-hander. You can't go wide in this corner. He's down into second gear, onto the apex, just kissing the curb on the outside, back onto the second apex, and up the hill in fourth, fifth. So how much of a lift? A lift down to third gear and through that corner. Some people like to just sling it in and then brake later, but it looks like he takes the speed off as he goes into the corner. Now he's going through the very tight hairpins, down in second gear. It's nearly 4 seconds ahead of Skyjacker now. The man has just got an absolute rhythm round here. You can see he's got a groove. He's probably got some slip knot going on in his ear roll as he's flying around. Or some other band that sounds like there's a dog barking as a singer. I don't know what sort of music he's into, but I've got a friend who's into that real heavy metal, so I like to take the mick. It sounds like dogs barking. So Racer Brown 4.3 seconds ahead of Skyjacker, and Skyjacker is he's still 3 seconds though. It's not breaking it. It's around that 3 second mark. Matt Psycho at 20.9 his last time around. Skyjacker at 21.8. So Matt Psycho was a second faster than Skyjacker on lap 10. We're only 14 minutes into this race and they're all starting to find their place. Binko, he's picking up the pace. He's cutting into Matt Psycho's time there. He's 1.3 seconds adrift, whilst Daz now 7.2 seconds from Binko. He's staying consistent 22s. He did a 24 on lap 8, a 124. He's only less than 4 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim's on an absolute push now with that 22.1. Rivixter 6.5 seconds adrift from Jim. He's doing good lap times though. 2.6 seconds ahead of Pat. Pat, we saw, was absolutely flying in those late 21s, mid 21s. He wants to be aiming for those lap times to catch up. The Rivs ahead of him, and he'll be all up in his business pretty soon. Racer Brown didn't get the fastest lap that last time around, nor did he this time. Maybe he's starting to ease off now. He's got track position, 6 second lead on Skyjacker. Skyjacker doing enough though to maintain that rough 3 seconds. Well, I don't know, it's coming down to 2.5 seconds now. Mr. Psycho starting to cut in to Skyjacker's lead somewhat, but he's dragging Mr. Binko along with him. Let's get on board with Binko in his Porsche 919 hybrid as he follows Matt Psycho, the fellow Porsche, around as they're chasing the Toyotas that are way off in the lead at the moment by about 2.5 seconds, 3. Well, Racer Brown is nearly 10 seconds ahead of Binko, and we're only It's nearly 16 minutes into this 90-minute race. It's a long way to go. Is Racer Brown gonna lap the field? That is the question I pose to you guys out there. Could he do that? Could he possibly? In 90 minutes, if 16 minutes, he's already 7, 9, 10 seconds ahead of fourth and about 7 seconds ahead of second. Sorry, I'm being really lazy. I'm just gulping my coffee down, just trying to say anything to keep the words going. Yum yum. That was cracking. Lovely stuff. So, back to the race. Racer Brown then 7 seconds ahead of Skyjacker at 20.7 last time around for him. Skyjacker in second place. He managed a 21.82 his last time around, but it is dropping between him and Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's got it down to 1.5 seconds. It was 3 seconds 2 laps ago, and now Matt Psycho really starting to drive those lap times home, and he's catching Skyjacker up hand over fist, and he's bringing Binko with him, who's only trailing him by no more than a second for most of this race so far. Daz, we saw, he was up there dicing it with the big boys, but he slid a little bit, and that let them through. And he's 11 seconds adrift of Binko, but only 1.3 seconds ahead of Jim. So Jim closing in, or was it Jim? I can't remember now. I think Jim and Daz were both up there, weren't they? And now here they are, smashing it in, and Jim's catching up the Daz as they make their way around here, this brilliant track, Interlagos. What track's he got? Is that? Can't tell. It's not Interlagos. I want to say it's the A1 ring. I'm not sure. No, because I don't think it's got that bit in the inside. Does it say what track it is? I don't know. Getting distracted by what track's on the inside of his car. He's trying to get a tow from Daz. He's 5/10 behind under braking. He closes right up to the back of Daz here as they're on lap 14 of the Interlagos track for round 7 of the HPEC Season 3. I think Matt Psycho's leading it, but Racer Brown, he's had a few wins, he's missed a round, so I think after drop scores, Racer Brown's going to be tight up in that action when it all shakes out. And at the moment we're watching 6th and 5th fighting, Jim and Daz, the Audi versus, I believe, the Porsche. Yes, the Porsche. Not that one, that's the Audi. It's Daz that's in the Porsche there. And the medium tyres are starting to show a bit of red. Well, not the Audi. The Audi's looking very tidy on its tyres. It's the Porsche that's using them up. How is the rest of the group looking? Racer Brown, 10 seconds lead on Skyjacker now. His tyres are looking quite tidy. He's just over half a tank of fuel. Skyjacker, his tyres looking very tidy, but he's only 6/10 ahead of Matt Psycho, and I'm sure he'll be very aware of that, but his fuel's looking a lot better than Mr. Racer Brown. Then you've got Matt Psycho only on half a tank of fuel, and his tyres look absolutely barely used. So Matt Psycho is going to be looking at Skyjacker. And I think Skyjacker, he's trying to look after a bit of fuel at the moment with how much fuel he's got on board. Binko in 4th, his tyres barely touched as well, over half a tank of fuel. He's been sat in that tow of Matt Psycho for a majority of this race, and he is looking after his car very well. Daz there, he's just over half a tank of fuel, and he's had a bit of an off there, but it's enough to stay ahead of Jim. But we're only talking tenths ahead, and Daz looks like he's used his tyres up the most out of the whole pack at the moment. And there is Jim ready to pounce. Rivixter 7.3 seconds behind Jim, 3.5 seconds, so he's pulled out some time on Pat. Pat doing a 23.1 his last time around, and Rivixter doing a 23.3, so similar lap times from these guys, but we know they can go faster, pushing, I imagine. And Racer Brown 11.5 seconds. Skyjacker though having to defend from Mr. Psycho. Let's get on board with Matt Psycho to see what he can see as he catches up with the Toyota, the monster Toyota of Skyjacker. Skyjacker's had so many 4th places. It's not quite seen the podium, like I said. Apart from the mighty four of Racer Brown, Matt Psycho, Binko and IR Graham, it's only Daz that has seen a podium this season. So Skyjacker would love to get his name on that situation. Skyjacker doing so well in other championships at the moment with the WRX Challenge. He's got to be leading that after his Thursday performances. I don't think he's doing as well in the Max 5s, but who is? I was going to say banger racing. It's not banger racing, but it's a real. There's a lot of talent in a very tight field, so it's hard to get positions in that field, I tell thee. But Skyjacker holding his own out there. I'm trying to think what else he's been racing in. That's it at the moment, really. It's just the Max 5s I think we've got currently going. The HPECs, the Max 5s and the WRX Challenge. And the Clio Cup. And here we see Matt Psycho now getting a lovely toe out of that final corner. Going for a move up the inside. But it's not there, like I said. Skyjacker, a very good defensive driver. And this is going to be helping Mr. Binko out. Well, he's only a second still. He's not closed down on those two. There is Skyjacker coming over to defend the corner really early, then back out again to join the racing line. He is allowed to make that move, only the once though, as long as it's not weaving, and he doesn't try and move over into the racing line under braking, as long as he gets onto his racing line way before the braking zone. And that is acceptable by the VRC rules. Meanwhile, Mr. Brown is 13 seconds ahead of this battle. And at the moment, if Matt Psycho had any kind of feeling about getting a win here, Skyjacker is absolutely piddling all over that thought. Holding the Mr. Psycho right up with Binko. He seems to be happy, just sat there. I think he's fuel saving. I think Mr. Binko, we've got half a tank. Half a tank at 23 minutes. That could go all the way to 45 minutes. You know they're looking at trying to make the tank last. Yeah, I think at this point that it's going to be a one-stop, I believe. They all seem to be, apart from Mr. Psycho, but even Mr. Psycho could probably still wangle that last bit of fuel to last till 45 minutes into this race. I suppose with a lot of turns, not a lot of straights, the fuel can easily be conserved around here at Interlagos. And Matt Psycho having a look, but it's just too far behind at the moment. He's just trying to distract Mr. Skyjacker, trying to get all up in his business, try and make him make a mistake, try and agitate him so Spinjacker comes out to play. But we haven't seen Spinjacker in a long time. Skyjacker has full control of the light. I've been watching Glass, so I'm back into that whole holding the light thing. And well, it's split with the holding the light, but he's in Glass, so Skyjacker, full controls at the helm, captain, and he's doing an absolutely cracking job. If he was a Racer Brown's teammate, and Racer Brown would be buying him a drink. 15 second lead now for Racer Brown. Skyjacker holding on to second spot with Matt Psycho very frustrated in the Porsche behind him. It doesn't seem like there's anything he can do to get through the wall of Toyota, the monster wall that Skyjacker has erected. And Binko in fourth. He's not getting any closer. Where he is, he's 7/10 closer. He's slowly edging closer to this battle, but I do believe he's really finding the time to do a bit of fuel conserving. He probably knows Racer Brown is out of touch today, and his battle is here in front of him, seeing these two. And as they fight it out, Binko thinking, I can just save a bit of fuel and stay out a bit longer than those two. Jim, he's 21 seconds adrift of that battle. He's 3 seconds. Oh, he's got ahead of Daz. Sorry, yes, we were watching Jim behind Daz, and he has made the move. He's got himself up into 5th place, and Daz has dropped to about 3 seconds behind him. Rivixter's got closer. So Daz had a really bad one somewhere on lap 17. He did a 24.6, but nothing too majorly bad. But Rivixter's starting to draw closer. He's in the 22s to Daz. And Pat still 3.2 seconds behind the Rivs. But he's back into the 22s now for Pat. So doing some lovely tidy laps. Nearly 16 seconds Racer Brown's lead is now from Skyjacker. Skyjacker's still got his hands full. Still defending on the inside of that corner, but has he messed it up? Because it looks like, no, he's still got a great line through there. I thought he'd gone wide, giving Matt Psycho the opportunity, but now Matt Psycho right on his tail, coming down the straight. There goes defensive all the way over to the wall. Here's Skyjacker. He comes back out to join the line. Matt Psycho's there already, and it's Ty and Binko having a look as well. My word and my holy ghost. It's close between these three. These cars aren't built for this close racing. They're endurance cars. They're meant to go for long distances without seeing each other. And at the moment we see Skyjacker, Matt Psycho and Binko all in close quarter, fighting it out. Jim will be happy in the Audi, even if it slows him down for a few laps. That gives him an opportunity to draw ever closer. We've still got over an hour of racing, 1 hour and 3 minutes of racing. So we're 27 minutes into this race. These races astound me how fast they go. They really do. I don't know, for you guys, maybe not. You probably sat there thinking, God, it's a drag. But for me, sat here, it's exciting stuff. Very exciting stuff. And we're on board with Binko. We were trying to work out what Binko's strategy is, because we know he's got good pace. But he seems to have been happy to sit behind these two, battling away. There they go again, right over by the wall. Trying to be defensive. Beautiful stuff. Let's have a look at what is going on here with Skyjacker and Matt Psycho. Binko very close behind them, and Skyjacker doing an absolutely amazing job defending. Looking back from a second place Skyjacker, his tyres are starting to look a little munched up now, and Binko looking up the inside of Matt Psycho. So Matt Psycho, as well as being on the attack to Skyjacker, he's now got to think defensive, because Binko will be trying to sling one up the side of him whenever he gets the opportunity. Meanwhile, 17 seconds ahead of these guys, Racer Brown, he could really turn that engine right down, couldn't he? He could coast. He could coast for a while, as we're coming up to 28 minutes into the race. Lap 21. It's going to be a lap fest today, I'm sure of it. And Skyjacker still maintaining that lead that he has on Matt Psycho, less than a second, 6/10. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, because when I go back to in-car, it's going to be like that. Let me sort it out before I go away. There we go. Sorry. So, Racer Brown. God, that road was really odd looking. When you come out of the car, you think the road looks quite nice, but when you're right on the bottom of it, it looks really pixelated. So Skyjacker is 6/10 ahead of Matt Psycho. This is some close counter fighting for these prototype hybrid cars. And there goes Skyjacker again, getting over by the wall. This time it's not going to be enough. It looks like Matt Psycho's looking around the outside. Is it no, Skyjacker's still defending him off. And Matt Psycho still stays in third with Bingo involved. And Daz pulls the trigger on the pit stops. He's the first to make a stop. He's got plenty of fuel, but those tyres do look pretty mullered. Skyjacker still maintaining ahead of Matt Psycho. We're not even 30 minutes into the race. Daz has pitted. Possibly could put his softs on and try and make a jump on Riv, Pat and Jim. They're all close enough to him. Jim's doing a fine time at the moment, 10 seconds ahead of the Rivixter, and Pat is 9/10 behind Rivixter. So Rivixter must have had a bad lap somewhere along the way, and he hasn't pitted. Did a 24 on lap 21, and that might be all it takes, because Pat is doing nice regular, well, 23s, high 23s, I mean low 23s, high 22s, so very close. Matt Psycho has gone into the pits. Matt Psycho has decided to pit. His tyres look okay. I can't see his fuel's okay as well, so maybe he's just trying something, and so has Binko. Both Porsches into the pits. Interesting strategy as Racer Brown cracks on. And he's got plenty of fuel. Most of them have. Looks like they could one stop here, but Binko and Matt Psycho opting to go into the pits, as did Daz. Rivixter comes around. He's not going to get ahead of the leaders, I am sure. And it looks like Binko, no, Rivixter's going into the pits. He's not happy with the tyres. Also, Pat stays out. Binko's on his way out, and Matt Psycho should be out, on his way out either. I can't see him. He's behind Binko. Binko has jumped. He's barely put any fuel in that bad boy. He's just put the softs on. Pat, and there's Matt Psycho. He's down in 6th behind Pat. He's topped up and he's put mediums on. Interesting, they've both gone 2 different ways. Binko, he's just topped up to half a tank. He's put the softs on. He's on a sprint. He is going for a push. This is what we saw Racer Brown do, was it not, a round or so ago? And I don't know. So Racer Brown 19 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker stayed out there. He's got plenty of fuel. The tyres are starting to look gnarly. He goes around again, and I think he's going to try and want to stop it. Jim has carried on as well. He's got plenty of fuel. Tyres are still looking tidy on that Audi, and he is 3.5 seconds ahead of Binko, who has decided to bullet it. He's gonna put some softs on. He's not gonna fuel up. He's just gonna go out there and he's gonna race 4-track position. But then he will be on the mediums later when the guys around him will be opting to go for softs. Matt Psycho, he's gone at mediums again. He's got past Pat. So Pat must have made a mistake somehow to let Matt Psycho through. But he's ahead of Daz. Daz pitted. Daz was one of the first to pit, and Rivixter pitted afterwards. He's come out 8/10 behind. Rivixter's put the softs on, as has Daz. So Pat's out there on some old mediums, while the guys he's racing are out there doing some major lap times. Daz doing a 21.0. Rivixter yet to do one because he's done an out lap, but he's very close behind Daz. Racer Brown, meanwhile, he stayed out again on lap 25, 20 seconds, nearly 21 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. That must be nearly a pit stop. What did Binko? Binko didn't put any fuel in, and it was a 49.2 second lap, pit stop lap. So that's around about 30 seconds. But Matt Psycho, Skyjacker's in. Skyjacker has come in. And what's Jim going to do? Interesting stuff. Bunton in the chat saying, evening all, I hope everyone is well. We're in the middle of our Father's Day special, HPEC. And there goes Jim, he's going through. Skyjacker's only just changing his tyres, and Jim goes up into 2nd place ahead of Binko, who's only 8/10 behind him now. Binko doing a 20.2 his last time around, and Matt Psycho on his mediums, a 21.3. So Binko doing an absolutely cracking job. He can't be held up by Jim though. This is the thing, when you choose the softs and go for a sprint, you can't be held up by these other cars that are not pitting, and this is awkward for Binko. He's going to try and get away from the Audi, and he does. Cracking stuff. But the Audi's got that inside line, and the Audi, Jim can race. It's 4th position. Matt Racer Brown's gone in. He's seen a lot of people pitting around him. He's given up on the one stopper, and he has pitted. So Binko next on track, 43.9 seconds behind. Skyjacker's pit stop cost him around about 42 seconds, 40 seconds, 40 seconds. So Racer Brown is going to be only a few seconds ahead of Binko. Binko on those soft tyres as well. We can't see what tyres Racer Brown's opted for yet. Jim there doing a cracking job in 3rd place without pitting yet. Skyjacker just pitted. He's still out ahead of Psycho. Matt Psycho losing a bit of time on Skyjacker. Racer Brown then. Binko is showing, but no, there goes Racer Brown. Racer Brown's in the pit lane and he's out. It can't be 10 seconds. Is it really 10 seconds? I thought it'd be less than that. That's a shame. So 12-second lead. Racer Brown has managed to pull out there. Yeah, it's 31 second lap. Yeah, and he was 43. So that does make sense. I was thinking it was a 40-second pit stop, sorry. So Racer Brown 11 seconds, and he's gone for the medium tyres again. Binko the only one opting for the softs on this stint, except for the guys further back on the grid. Jim still doing a cracking job on his one stopper. He's only got to go another 10 minutes, and he's got 3-second lead on Skyjacker. But Skyjacker, he's on some nice fresh mediums. He hasn't topped up the car as much as Matt Psycho has. Matt Psycho obviously going for a very long run in this stint. Pat up into 6th. He's still not pitted yet. He's got Daz 11.2 seconds behind him. Daz ahead of Rivixter by 7/10. These two in an absolute bitter battle. 20.7 for Rivixter last time around. Daz doing a 21.2. So Rivixter getting ever closer. Flashman in the chat saying evening all. We're sat on board with 8th place Rivixter. Daz and Riv both pitting earlier than Pat. Pat yet to pit. So he's up there in 6th, but he'll be back there with these guys. They're both on softs doing very fast lap times, so they might jump Pat. Pretty sure they'll jump Pat. I think Pat was behind him anyway. He was behind Rivixter, so we assume Pat to go back into 8th place. And the question is, where's Jim going to end up? Because Jim was just ahead of Daz. And at the moment, Jim in 3rd place. 2.2 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker managing a 20.8 his last time around. Jim doing a 22.3. That's how old his tyres are. Binko doing a 20.087, the fastest lap of the race. On those softs, Racer Brown, 11.2 seconds lead. He managed, well, it was an out lap. Let's see what his first flying lap out the pits is. It's a 19.8 and he's on the mediums. That's humbling, guys. That's really humbling. So Racer Brown going fastest of all on the medium tyres with a 19.8. He should be catchable. Binko's heart must have sunk then. Oh gosh. He is slowly catching him though, but oh, with those lap times, that's going to be tough. Jim holding steady there. He's less than a second ahead of Skyjacker now though. Skyjacker in the 120s, Jim doing 22s on those old tyres. So it's only a matter of time till Skyjacker catches him up. Skyjacker's some 4.8 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho not managing to get it into the 20s, low 21s. But he's going to be fuel saving. Maybe I don't know, he pitted too early to start fuel saving now. And there you go, Skyjacker makes short work of Jim on his old tyres. He's through and he's up into 3rd spot. Is he going to do it? Is Skyjacker going to get a podium today? To join Daz. Daz being the 5th. And Skyjacker will be the 6th person this season to get a podium. We've had, and we want Binko. We need Binko to take a win. He's been on the podium almost every race, but he's yet to grab a win. And Racer Brown, he's won the last 2 at Fuji and Suzuka, and he's looking very strong here for another one, I think. And Binko in 2nd, Skyjacker in 3rd. Jim sticking it out there. He's only got around about 6 more minutes to deal with those tyres. He's got plenty of fuel. The one stop's not looking too bad, is it really? Because the guys behind him will have to pit again, I assume. And that's Psycho 2.6 seconds behind Jim. He's got it onto the 21.0 now. He did pick up the most fuel out of everyone though. Playing the long game is Matt Psycho. Pat there, still not pitting, as hasn't Jim. He was behind Daz and Rivixter. At the moment he's 6.8 seconds ahead of Daz. But if he's going for that one stop, remember Daz and Rivs probably, well, definitely will have to pit again. They've not got enough fuel to go till the end. And it's only a second between those two. A 21.2 for Daz last time around. A 20.8 for the Rivixter. It's so frustrating. Rivixter, he's got so much raw speed. Really, usually racing lower down through an off or of some sort. Daz there, beautiful consistency since his pit stop. And Racer Brown flying off the handle, 10.6 seconds ahead of Binko. Binko on those soft tyres, and he's on the same pace as Racer Brown. That is crazy how fast Racer Brown is able to go on those medium tyres. The same pace as Binko virtually. Skyjacker 9.7 seconds behind Binko, 3.2 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim doing a fine job out there on his one stop, keeping the car on track, keeping it facing the right way. I imagine that is pretty much a nasty old mule to try and drive around. I bet it doesn't want to go into the corners. Let's have a look. See how much he's struggling on that steering wheel, trying to get her in. I bet he's got understeer from hell in that Audi, with no front grip. Every time he puts the accelerator down, I imagine it's spinning up. It looks okay so far. It looks like he's got it all under control. He's just ahead of Matt Psycho by half a second. I don't imagine he'll try and race those guys. Yeah, this doesn't look like he's got tragic understeer or anything in that car. It looks like he's got it all under control so far. He's 41.5 minutes into the race. If he's going at halfway, he's only got a few more laps to go, and he can get himself some new fresh rubber in that car. Matt Psycho ever getting closer, having a look at the back of Jim. He nearly went through Jim, but there we can see Matt Psycho in 5th, car 16, the Sick Children's Trust livery, and Matt Psycho trying to find a way past, but he just can't do it in these hybrids today. And Jim's made a small mistake. The grip's got to him. He's gone wide, or maybe he's just let Matt Psycho through because he doesn't want that hassle. And Racer Brown then leading the way, 11.5 seconds ahead of Binko. Binko doing some nice steady laps. He probably should put some more fuel in because he's not using those softs up too much. Skyjacker is 5.6 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho now. We saw Matt Psycho was in the 21s, as is Skyjacker, so their pace is similar. But he did a 20.9 that last one, so maybe now he's starting to go for a big push to try and catch Skyjacker up to get that podium back. Jim doing a cracking job. It's not quite 45 yet. He's going to go around again, I assume. He's got a 15-second lead on Pat. Pat is yet to pit also. But, oh, Rivixter's starting to catch him. Oh, Rivixter's got himself ahead of Daz. Oh, Daz did a 1:32.6 last time around. That wasn't a good lap from the Daz. And he's lost a bit of time. 11 seconds on Rivixter. Rivixter now, he's 8 tenths behind Pat, and Pat is yet to pit. But remember, Rivixter will have to pit again a lot sooner than Daz or Pat. Probably before Pat now. Rivixter's got less fuel in than Pat, and Pat hasn't pitted yet. So Pat just clinging on to that 6th place, but he's out wide again. He's got no grip in that car whatsoever. He's back on the track ahead of Rivs, but only just. And the Rivs wants to get past. He's got some fresh rubber, and he needs to get on. And Pat has lost all grip whatsoever in that car. He probably want to come in and pit at the end of this one. Sorry for that big sniff up. So Racer Brown is 11 seconds ahead of the Binks. The Binks on those soft tyres, he can't even get on the same lap time as Racer Brown. Racer Brown at 20.3 last time on the medium tyres, and Binko managing a 20.4. So Racer Brown in a league of his own at the moment. Skyjacker at 21.1 his last time around. And Matt Psycho managing a 21.0 as well, so that's just a 10th between Skyjacker and Matt Psycho's lap times. Jim, we're just about to hit the 45-minute mark. If he wants to pit, oh no, he's gone through again, hasn't he? He's going round. That's the beginning of the lap. But Pat surely will be pitting at the end of this lap. There he, oh no, he's gone through. Has he? Yeah, he's gone through. So Pat opting not to pit again on this lap either. They're going until their fuel runs out, possibly. But yeah, I suppose that makes sense. It'll be a shorter stint on those soft tyres. And Racer Brown finding his way around to finish lap 33, start lap 34, as we just go past the halfway mark in this race. That's it, halfway. We've had a race already, haven't we? And there you see Racer Brown leading the way. He's won 3 so far to Matt Psycho's 2, and IRG has won 1. Binko He's yet to win. We want him to. We're really rooting for the Binks to get that win in under his belt. He's been close. I think he's had one or two where it's looked like it's on the cards, but for one reason or another, I think Monza, he had a bad knee, and I think he was looking strong at the beginning and started fading away as the race went on. Sorry about my sniffing. I want to mute in a minute and have a good old sniff. Give me a second. Hello again. I've just had a good blow. Had a good blowy. It was great. Blew my mind. So Pat is in the pits. Pat has come into the pits. Finally, those tyres were killing him. Racer Brown is 10 seconds. Binko's starting to pull a lap time out, is it? Or Racer Brown just went a bit slow that lap? Looks like Racer Brown just went a bit slow that lap. With a 21.1. Binko in second. Skyjacker 12.6 seconds behind the Binks. And he's 4.7 seconds ahead of Psycho. Psycho did a 20.7 last time around. Skyjacker doing a 21.2. So Matt Psycho a little bit faster at the moment. Jim still hasn't gone in. And he hasn't gone in again. He's going round again. Go on, Jim. Super Endurance Jim is going around for the 35th lap on those medium tyres. The fuel is on vapours. We'll see how he does. He's nearly 13 seconds ahead of the Rivs, who's 10 seconds ahead of Daz, who is 32 seconds ahead of Pat. So the one stop has not worked well for Pat there. He did nearly a 2-minute pit stop. He must have had a spin on his way around, because most people have been doing 150s. But Pat's pit stop seemed quite long. 10 seconds longer than most of the other people who have pitted. Jim, though, is yet to pit. If he's going to lose 30 seconds in his pit stop, that's going to put him behind Daz. But don't forget, Rivixter and Daz have to pit again. Rivixter's going to have to pit pretty much the same time as Jim, it seems like. Which will move Daz up, but Daz has got a pit before the end of the race. We're on lap 35. We've got 42 minutes remaining. And Racer Brown is on another level, really. Car 86, the Toyota. I think it's the older Toyota as well, the TSO30 from 2012. And in Racer Brown's hands, it sings. Binko in the Porsche, the next fastest person. There goes Rivixter. He made it to the pits. Virtually 2% of fuel left in that one. So Daz will be coming through. Oh, Jim's gone round again. That was the Rivs that pitted, sorry. So the Rivs has gone in, and Jim has not. He fancies it again. Another lap, even though we can see your fuel tank, Mr. Jim, and it's not looking too healthy, my friend. So Racer Brown just gets the fastest lap of the race. He breaks the 20s. He's into the 19s at 1:19.797, and he destroys the field. That's on racing medium tyres. Binko on his softs, but his fuel's starting to look low now. He's going to have to pit soon. Skyjacker, he's got no sign of pitting yet, but he did pit earlier than the halfway mark, so he will be two-stopping this race. Matt Psycho also, we think, two-stopping in this race. Jim is playing Danny Dare with the pits. He's got to go in this time. He's got to go in this time, surely. And there he goes. Whew! Scaring me, Jimbo. So Jim has gone into the pits, so we'll see Daz possibly move ahead of Jim. Rivixter already pitting, and he's lapped by Binko there. He's Binko just in front of him. What did I say about Racer Brown lapping the whole field? I'll take that back. He's only 13 seconds ahead of the Binks. And the Binks is going to be in trouble, I think. He's 14 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. And about 17-18 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho, but he's used his soft tyres up, but he just doesn't seem to have got the pace out of his soft tyres that you were expecting. I mean, with Racer Brown doing 19s on the mediums, I don't know, I would have thought the softs would have been a lot faster, but possibly not around here. With the corners though, I thought the grip would make them faster. And Jim is coming out of the pits. He's ahead of Rivixter, behind Daz, but we think double Daz's fuel is in the red already. So Daz will need to pit, and that'll put Jim ahead of the Daz. Tidy stuff. Rivs 11.3 seconds behind Jim. That's it. He's topped up with fuel, mediums. He is going all the way to the end now. With Pat, he put the mediums back on. We think he's just one stop in, but he lost a lot of time on his pit stop. He's getting blues. That'll be Skyjacker coming around. You can see Pat getting way out of the way there, off the side of the road. Oh, why did I do that? Silly boy. There you go. Because I wanted to look at... Oh, I missed it anyway after all of that. So, Matt Psycho and Skyjacker coming through to lap Pat. Daz, he's 47 seconds behind Matt Psycho. 7.3 seconds. Looks like he's got Racer Brown coming around. He's 7.3 seconds ahead of Jim. Jim just pitting. He's put the soft tyres on. Looks like he's going to go all the way to the end. Binko's come in. Binko's come in to get rid of those softs. He's got barely any fuel left. Now helps Skyjacker out, but we do believe Skyjacker will have to pit again before the end of this race. They've started lap 39 here at Interlagos for round 7 of the HPEC Season 3. And Racer Brown is a rinse in the field today here in the South Americas as he just laps Daz, is that? Yes. Binko coming out of the pits, full up with fuel, on medium tyres, behind Mr. Psycho, quite a way behind Mr. Psycho. Wow. Daz is going to be closer. No, Daz a minute behind Binko, and 21 seconds Binko. He's filled up, he's on the medium tyres, but Matt Psycho and Skyjacker have the choice of softs still in their artillery, because they haven't used the soft tyre yet this race. Nor has Racer Brown. Binko, Daz and Rivixter have. Jim's on him at the moment, and Pat is just opted to go for a 2 stint on the mediums. Possibly maybe he'll come in at the end, see if he can get a fastest lap or something. But Racer Brown 30 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. We're at 53, we're just about to be 54 minutes into this race. 90-minute race. Daz is in the pits. We said Daz would have to pit. He's put some mediums on. He's ended up behind Pat. So Pat, it wasn't too terrible for Pat. That one stop, we'll see. He's coming around that corner, but Daz is... Oh, they're virtually at the same point on the track. And it's race on between Daz and Pat then. Out there for 7th and 8th place. Rivixter some 17.5 seconds up the road from these guys. And Pat is looking under threat already. Daz is really starting. Oh, where was Daz going? Daz went right across that corner. It was like he's getting used to the extra grip out there. Racer Brown 31.5 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. Skyjacker's only 2 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho 21.3 last time around from him, and he's getting blues again. So Skyjacker, he's getting under threat from Matt Psycho. He did 21.7. It's not quite the pace that Matt Psycho's displaying at the moment. And it looks like Skyjacker's used his tyres up a little bit more than Matt Psycho. Crosses the line with a 21.7 again. Wow, very... And it's a 20.6 for Matt Psycho, a second faster that lap. And no, the tyres are pretty much the same. The fuel is pretty much the same between the Toyota and the Porsche. It's just Matt Psycho is making the moves. Binko, 22.6 seconds adrift of these. He's going to be getting his head down and trying to get some laps in to make the undercut. When these two pit, he wants to be ahead of them both. He'd love Matt Psycho to catch up with Skyjacker and these two to slow each other down racing with Binko. That would help him out no end. We've got 34.5 minutes left of racing. And, well, yeah, we're going to say Racer Brown's going to win this, but we don't know who's going to finish in second place. I honestly don't know. Could be Binko, Matt Psycho, or Skyjacker at this point. And then it's very interesting indeed. Jim's having a very good race on that one stopper. He's doing some good fast lap times now. A 32.3 from Binko. Anything happens up front, anyone's game. Rivixter 16.7 seconds behind Jim. He's doing good lap times also. He's trying to pull in the Audi, his fellow BWT sponsored car out there. Pass off the road ahead of Daz, only 7/10 though. Daz getting used to the new tyres. Mama Sykes is in the chat, just got live chat. Hello all. Yes, I know it wasn't turned on at first, it was very strange. Seems to be every time we start a stream now, we don't get the live chat. I have to annoy Talaran to go on his computer and turn it on. It's very odd. Something needs to be investigated. An investigation needs to be got. We'll have to call in the best detective there ever was. And that is... Inspector Gadget? No, there's got to be a better one. Who was the mouse detective? Was that Mickey Mouse, the mouse detective? Wasn't there a mouse that was Sherlock Holmes? That one. We'll get that one in. So Matt Psycho, half a second now behind Skyjacker. It's close stuff here for the second spot of this race, and Skyjacker clinging on. We saw Skyjacker earlier in this race defending for all his might against Mr. Psycho, and there is no quarter given between these two. They're virtually pros. And Skyjacker just clinging on, half a second ahead of Matt Psycho. Like I said, these two still to pit. Binko already making his second and I'm guessing final pit stop of the race. He's going to bring her home all the way. Racer Brown we haven't seen take a second pit stop yet, but he's doing okay with the fuel. Skyjacker just ahead. Flashman saying Columbo. Yeah, we'll get Columbo in. And he also said by far the best detective ever. Hey, so you say you weren't there. Let me get this straight in my head, because I get a little confused sometimes. So you start the stream and you don't have the live chat. That's correct, yeah? That's of my understanding. Yeah, we'll get Columbo in. You're right, he's the best. So Skyjacker, he's just clinging on now ahead of Mr. Psycho. Binko already making that stop. He's got to get those lap times in. He wants to jump these two after their pit stops. It is nail-biting stuff here at the 43rd lap of round 7 of the HPEC Season 3. At Interlagos, we have 31 minutes virtually remaining, just over 31 minutes remaining in this race. Racer Brown is yet to make his second pit stop. We expect him to take before the end of the race. Skyjacker and Matt Psycho we both expect to come into the pits as well. And Matt Psycho, these last few laps as the fuel has been going, he has sped up, and nor has Skyjacker or Matt Psycho used the soft tyre compound, nor has Racer Brown. So Binko in fourth. He's just used his softs. He's come in, he's put the mediums back on. He's running all the way to the end. 23 seconds adrift. We believe it's around about 20 to 30 seconds for a pit stop. So this is going to be very interesting. Binko could be ahead of him, but Skyjacker and Matt Psycho being on the soft tyres should be having the faster pace than Binko, but it's all down to the pit stops, and we don't even know when that's going to happen. It's crazy racing, we love it. So Racer Brown 36 seconds lead on Skyjacker. Racer Brown could come in pit and get back out again before these two even caught him up. The monster Toyota, the massive roadblock for Mr. Psycho. He wants to get past, he needs the points in this championship. He's the championship leader, he's the reigning champion from last season, HPEC Season 2. But his crown is going to be dislodged by Racer Brown if Racer Brown is allowed to keep winning the races this way. Matt Psycho has to show him who is boss. And at the moment, Matt Psycho is bossing just Skyjacker. Nah, sorry, Matt. I'm just joking, man. You're still the GOAT to me, bro. So we're on lap 45 here at Interlagos. We've raced for over an hour. We've got 29 minutes left. We're waiting for one of these two to twitch. Either Matt Psycho or Skyjacker. One of them's got to go in the pits at some point. Their fuels are getting low as they chase each other. Oh, I forgot how rough that road looks from this point. And they're looking back from Skyjacker's car. I think he's got a little bit more fuel than Matt Psycho. His tyres look a little more worn. Racer Brown is in the pits. I don't suppose it matters. He can get in and out. Should we even look? Is it worth? Oh no, I wasn't meant to do that. Hang on, let me change that because it'll freak me out next time I go on board. Oh, it looks a bit slidey from Skyjacker. As we were looking back, it looked like Skyjacker was having a bit of a wiggle on. Looked a little untidy. Matt Psycho's going in for the kill around the outside. Can Skyjacker cling on as he comes up the hill? And Matt Psycho's all over the back of him, but no, he couldn't quite capitalise, and that's it. Skyjacker says, I am going in. That wiggle was enough for me. Racer Brown coming out of the pits. I shouted that he was going to be in and out before the leaders even come around there. You can see Matt Psycho going into the first corner, and Racer Brown back out. Boom, there you go. 7.5 second lead on Matt Psycho, who is still yet to pit. He's got a couple of laps of fuel in there yet. I suppose he's going to try and crack on. We assume Skyjacker is going to put the soft tyres on for this last stint. Can they last 27 minutes, 28 minutes? I imagine so. Binko was on them for quite a while, wasn't he? He's back on the mediums now, and he's up into third ahead of Skyjacker. He's just coming around the escape road, the outro to the pits. And Binko 8 seconds, but Skyjacker on those soft tyres, and now he's got to show us what he can do. What sort of lap times? Because Binko, got to say, they weren't extraordinary. He was only doing 20s. Sorry, Binko, I couldn't do them, but I was expecting 19s, possibly edging towards the 18s. And now we'll see what sort of lap times can Skyjacker do on those soft tyres. Racer Brown, excuse me. He also put the soft tyres on in his pit stops, and Matt Psycho, he's going to be slower than Skyjacker. So Matt Psycho, he might be under threat from the undercut on the soft tyres. How long will Matt Psycho stay out there? He's gone past this time. So that's 2 laps he stayed out there on the hards. Oh no, 1 is it? That's only 1 lap that Skyjacker's done without lap. And Binko can't really keep the track of how Skyjacker's doing because he's got Binko behind him by 22.5 seconds. And I'm trying to see what sort of lap time Skyjacker does. See what his first sector are. See if it's a lot faster on those soft tyres. Nearly a 10th up in the first sector, and it's a very short first sector. Racer Brown, meanwhile, 10-second lead on Matt Psycho. And he's just driving all the way to the end, unhindered, really. It seems no one was there to race him today. He was above and beyond, an 18.9 on those soft tyres. There you go. That's the lap times I thought Binko was going to do. Sorry, Binko. But that was the pace I was expecting on those softs. Skyjacker, let's have a look what he can do on his soft tyres. He's half a second up, so no, maybe the pace is in the 20s on those soft tyres. It's just Racer Brown is muddling the waters with his super alienness. So here he comes along the straight, a 20.2, which, yeah, is around what Binko was doing, so fair enough. At some point, Racer Brown was abducted by aliens. They spliced their DNA with him. They put him back on this planet. And now he races in our group. 18.9. 18.9. I don't think anyone else has got a 19 yet, have they? Matt Psycho's fastest. He hasn't done the softs run yet, but 20.6. Binko, I can't see his fastest, but I don't think he's got into the 19s. Skyjacker, he's a 20.2. Jim, a 21.0. Can't see Rivix's fastest. Pat's done a 21.5. Daz 4.5 seconds behind Pat at this point. Did a 22.2 last time around. Pat did a 22.2 as well. So their lap times are virtually on. A 22.1 for Daz. Pat doing a 22.0. Nothing in it between them two at the back there. Rivix's 13 seconds in the lead of those. In 6th place, he did a 21.9. So the Rivs on a good pace at the moment. Jim on his one stop doing a cracking job at 21.0 last time around. He's 26 seconds behind Skyjacker and 28 seconds ahead of the Rivs. Skyjacker pitted early and next to Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho stayed out there. He did a 19.8 last time for Skyjacker, and Matt Psycho 21.6. He's losing time. He's definitely losing time to Skyjacker. This is very interesting that he stayed out there this long. He's barely any fuel on his tank, so he's got to come in this lap, but I'm surprised he didn't pit at the same time as Skyjacker. But maybe it's because he knew the Binko element was there and he was hoping Binko would wear his tyres out a bit more. I'm not sure, but he's gone into the pits now. Racer Brown, he's going to be about 50 seconds lead after all of this, possibly. He's getting another purple on his soft tyres. Binko is coming up around the final corner as Matt Psycho hasn't quite reached his garage yet. His pit box. And Skyjacker's only 3.4 seconds behind Binko. Matt Psycho now has got the tyres changed. He's getting the fuel put in. Skyjacker's going into the first corner. This is who he's battling. He's still getting the fuel in as Skyjacker goes through the turn 2 and 3. And there he goes, Matt Psycho on the soft tyres. And he's gone. Skyjacker's already gone. And Matt Psycho's still coming down the exit. And Skyjacker's into the first corner. That's lost Matt Psycho an absolute ton of time. It really has. Look at that. Nearly 9 seconds adrift from Skyjacker. They were virtually at the same point when they pitted. And Skyjacker on those soft tyres has torn up that tarmac and pulled himself out. Nearly 10-second lead on Matt Psycho. That's curious. So Racer Brown, he's flying an 18.7 his last time around in that Toyota 2012. Unbelievable stuff. Binko in a cracking second place. Can he keep hold of that? It looks like it. Well, Skyjacker's drawing closer. Skyjacker a 20.0 last time around. Binko doing a 21.0. This is nail-biting stuff here. Can Skyjacker get second place? Matt Psycho 9.7 seconds behind these guys. We've still got 21 minutes left of racing. It's perfect. I mean, even if Binko's doing 21 and a halves, Matt Psycho, he only has to get 20s. And he can catch Binko up before the end of this race. This is what I was saying about Binko being on the softs early on means everyone's going to be on the softs later when he's on the mediums. And this is what we've got at the moment. Racer Brown, 40-second lead on Binko. He keeps reeling off those fastest laps. Every time he goes around past the finish line. Here he comes again. Let's see how much faster this one is. I don't think it is. I think this one's relatively... He's taking it easy on this one, hasn't he? Yeah, 19.0. And Binko, it's only 2 seconds ahead of Skyjacker now. Skyjacker, head down, crack on. This is the time on those soft tyres. Get some qualifying laps in, but do not throw it off, because you've got Matt Psycho hunting you down, and Matt Psycho leaving it so long for that final pit stop. He's going to be having a meeting with his team at the end of this race, doing a Lewis Hamilton, asking them why they left him out there so long, but he's doing fast lap times now. He's on it. He's on the pace. He's hammer time for, well, shall we call it psycho time for Matt? Matt on psycho time. Going berserker on the racetrack to try and catch up Skyjacker. A 19.8. Skyjacker doing a 20.3. And Binko only a second ahead at the moment, doing 21.4. This is now biting stuff. 19 minutes left of racing. Racer Brown just disappearing into the sunset here at Interlagos. Binko clinging on with everything he's got. Skyjacker, he's bringing the thunder. He's bringing the lightning. He's bringing the rain. He's getting right on the tail of that Relentless. The battle of energy drinks. Relentless v Monster. As I sip on my other energy drink that don't give me any money to say their name, so I shall not say their name. Oof, I nearly gave up, but I didn't. Oh, whoa, whoa, Binko sliding around behind Skyjacker. That was the wrong time to get out the car, wasn't it? We would have seen a beautiful little slide from Binko right in front of Skyjacker. Why did I do that? And Skyjacker trying to grab a toe. Binko defensive into that first corner. It's a Relentless Porsche versus Monster Toyota as they head down the short straight. And Skyjacker wants that toe. He's on the soft tyre. I was nearly going to get out the car, but I'll give it another go to see how it looks. And Binko clinging on those medium tyres. And Skyjacker fancies it up around the outside. Binko's making him do the work. Can he grab second? He's just ahead, and Skyjacker looks like he's got second place. They're coming into the hairpins, though. Binko's got the inside line. And Skyjacker's sliding the back end around. He's trying to drift it round, and oh no, Binko has gone sideways. I don't think there was contact. It didn't look like there was contact, but Binko waiting for Matt Psycho to go through. Poor Binko, and Matt Psycho moves up to third. Oh my word, my heart is absolutely crying for Binko. Oh, trying to defend that position. He lost the back end. And Skyjacker is up into second place, 7 seconds ahead of Mr. Psycho. Doing Psycho time now. He's 7.3 seconds ahead of Binko. Jim only 16.2 seconds behind, and he's got Racer Brown. Is that Racer Brown coming to lap Jim? That's 5th position. We said he was going to lap the field. But he's lapped up to 5th so far. Has Racer Brown? Well, no, he's not quite caught 5th place up yet. But Jim, he must be sniffing something with Binko suddenly getting very closer to him. 16 seconds, a 21.8 from Jim last time around. And Binko's averages have been around 21.5, 21.4, 21.8. So Jim on those soft tyres as well, remember. Might be able to do something about Binko before the end of this race. We've got 16 minutes of racing, so he's got to go a second faster than Binko. That means he's got to up it into the 120s. I don't know if he can. There is a Racer Brown in the 19s, 47.2 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. It's just gone away. It's gone too far ahead of Skyjacker for it to read now. Oh, it's back again. There you go. And Skyjacker 6.7 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho at 19.9 that last time around. Skyjacker at 21.4, but he was racing with Binko. So he was probably slowed down a little bit. There you go, 20.4, more realistic for Skyjacker, but still Matt Psycho is on an absolute push at the moment at 20.3. He was 9 seconds behind Skyjacker and now only 6 seconds. He's pulled in 3 seconds over the last 3 or 4 laps. 15 minutes left of racing to go. This is nail-biting stuff. Poor Binko. He was in there. He was battling hard, but I don't know, maybe he got the accelerator down a little bit too early. I can't guess. We all saw the same thing. You make your mind up. I think he powered on too early out the hairpin. That's what usually happens to me when I go sideways there. Jim had a cracking little race, really. Dropped off right early doors. Looked like it was a lost hope, but cracked on with a one-stop strategy. And he's made that one stop work perfectly. He really went late in the race, scarily late. I thought he was going to run out of fuel. And that's helped him keep those softs alive in a one-stop situation. He's 37 seconds ahead of the Riv. Riv, best of the rest. Look at that. 11 seconds ahead of Pat. And Pat's 9 seconds ahead of Daz. Daz was faster than Pat, but it looks like near the end of this race, he struggled in that Porsche against Pat's Toyota. And Pat trying to catch the Rivs up at the moment, but it's just not working. Riv's doing it 22.9 his last time around. And Racer Brown with 14 minutes left of racing, leading the way. Oh, Binko's gone in. Binko's gone in. Interesting stuff. Wonder what he's going in for. He can't put softs on. He's already run softs. He'll get a 30-second penalty. He must be just going in to get some new mediums, maybe. But he's not that far ahead of Jim. Jim's going to overtake his position. Interesting stuff from the Binks. Keep our eyes on that. I don't know what tyres he's thinking of going for. He's got plenty of fuel. He's gone for another set of mediums. Just wanted some fresh mediums, possibly. Interesting stuff. So Racer Brown 50 seconds ahead of Skyjacker. It's 4 seconds now ahead of Matt Psycho. That's another 2 seconds that Skyjacker spilled. And there it is, a 19.7 from Matt Psycho. He is absolutely in the middle of Psycho time. And Skyjacker is going to be a lamb to the slaughter unless he can just find a little bit more pace out there. It's the struggle, I know. And these guys are seeing blues. Who's giving them blues? It can't be Racer Brown, can it? Surely not. Oh, it must be someone there catching up. Who's that? Oh, it's Pat. Sorry, Pat is being caught up by Matt Psycho. Gets out of the way. And Jim, 30 seconds adrift of Matt Psycho, and now 6.8 seconds ahead of Binko. But his tyres are old, our Jim's tyres. He's got some very old tyres on that car. Softs. He's asked them to go quite a long way in this race. I think for like the last sort of 40 minutes, Jim's been racing those tyres. No, not 40, I mean 30 so far. And Binko on some fresh mediums. He'll be doing low 20s, whilst Jim is doing 22.2. So that's a struggle for Jim. Skyjacker, meanwhile, 3.3 seconds. He's pulled a little bit out on Mr. Psycho. He's managed to edge away a little bit. It was down to 2 seconds. But now he's edged it up to 3 seconds again. Or was it? No, it was down to 4 seconds, wasn't it? It's dropping again. Sorry, I thought he's pulled a bit out, but he hasn't. He's lost another second to Mr. Psycho. Hoo-wee. Tight stuff here for second and third place. Matt Psycho ever pulling closer to Mr. Skyjacker. Skyjacker's got the lighter car, lower fuel. Maybe that's what Skyjacker's a little bit nervous about. Maybe fuel is touch and go. So Matt Psycho has got loads in. He's got next to what Skyjacker's got. Skyjacker only a quarter of fuel left, whereas Matt Psycho, he's somewhere between the quarter and the half tank. Racer Brown has only got a quarter of a fuel left, so yeah. Racer Brown and Skyjacker, similar fuel levels, should be good. Matt Psycho, a little extra fuel for him to burn. Jim's got a little bit over a quarter as well. Those tyres are really starting to look old. And he's only 5 seconds ahead of Binko, who did a 21.0 his last time around. With Jim doing, oh sorry, go through all the cars at 22.1, second slower than Binko at this point. Rivixter 35 seconds adrift from Binko, 11.5 seconds ahead of Pat. And Pat is 11.5 seconds behind the Rivs and 11.5 seconds ahead of Daz. We saw Daz was very close to Pat. That was an interesting race how theirs twos went. And Pat's one stop worked quite well for him in the end there, didn't it? Lovely stuff. But this is the man. This is the man. Racer Brown. He has absolutely destroyed it today here at Interlagos. And Skyjacker is 1 second ahead of Matt Psycho now. Oh God, what have I just pressed? Sorry. There you go. Matt Psycho closing down And Mr. Skyjacker in the last 10 minutes of this race. For your pleasure, this is what Mr. Psycho can see. Oh, they're coming up to a back marker as well. That looks like Rivixter. Hopefully, Rivixter will get nicely out of the way as these two powerhouses come through in second and third. And Skyjacker will be screaming at the TV, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. Or stay there and give me a tow, give me a tow, give me a tow. One or the other, you can bet. There is screaming. And there he goes, he's come on, there's been some confusion, and oh my god, Matt Psycho's caught them up. Oh my word, there was confusion with where Rivixter was going, and Matt Psycho's managed to get that second spot from Skyjacker. He must be absolutely fuming. Absolutely crazy fuming. And that is not the way. Oh my words. Oh, that is not how Skyjacker wanted to lose that second spot. I imagine he wanted to be able to defend it a little better than that, but he grabbed a toe from the Rivs and then tried to make a move, and Rivs misread the situation, I guess, and moved the same way, trying to get out of his way. And it's I don't know how you sort that one out. There's not really anything. It's either me, I jump off the track, but I could see Skyjacker wants to get a tow, and the Rivs, I imagine, wants to get out of his way, and now he's down into third spot. And with the pace that Matt Psycho's on at the moment, 2 19.7s, a 19.8, 19.7, 19.7, that pace is absolutely wild, and Skyjacker just cannot match it. Oh, poor Skyjacker, 21.4. But he's still getting a podium at the moment, and like I said, we've only had 5 people on the podium this season, so to see a 6th person join the podium would be great. He's gone in, he's gone in, he's gone in, really. Well, he has got 37 seconds on Jim, so that is a pit stop. He has got a pit stop in hand. Binko with making that mistake. He's only 2.5 seconds now behind Jim. Interesting stuff. He can only put the mediums on, but maybe he feels that his tyres have gone past their best. Well, they are quite worn. So Racer Brown out there, 49 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Matt Psycho's tyres are still plush, man. He's got no worries there. Skyjacker, he's come in, he's put the mediums on. He just wants some nice fresh tyres for the last 6.5 or 7 minutes of this race. He had he had it in hand, or has he got it in hand? Jim there in 4th, yes. He's out. He's out with 12 seconds to go. He's just come out in front of Daz, I believe. And Jim there in 4th. He's only 13 seconds behind now, but his tyres are pretty gruelled up, and he's got his hands full. He's only 1.5 seconds ahead of the Binks, who did a 20.9 his last time around. Jim managing a 22.1, so the Binks is going to be all over him pretty soon. Rivixter in 6th. Oh, Rivs. Ooh, you want to buy Skyjacker some flowers at the end of this. And Matt Psycho's gone in as well. He's seen that Skyjacker's gone in, and he's covering it off. Interesting. What if something goes wrong? What if something goes wrong here? What if one of his team drop a wheel nut? What if the fuel doesn't line up properly? There's so much could go wrong. It's a very risky move. His tyres was not that worn, but he's in, he's out. It looks all clinical, clean as a whistle. And Skyjacker, he's still down the start straight as Matt Psycho comes out of the pit lane. There goes Pat unlapping himself, and Skyjacker stays in 3rd, but he's only 5 seconds behind the Psycho. It's not all done deal. We've only 5 minutes left of racing. Very interesting with their final pit stops there. 4.3 seconds behind is Skyjacker. Jim 14.8 seconds there, and Binko has caught up the Jim in the last 5 minutes of this race. Can Jim defend? It's a lot to ask for. That Porsche is a lot faster on the fresher rubber. Jim on some very old soft tyres right now, trying to defend this 4th place from Binko. He's out wide though. It looks like he's struggling to get the Audi into the corners. And there's where we saw Binko lose it. Not this time. Not this time, he says. Oh, it's very tight between the relentless Porsche and the BWT Audi. And it's a pure water versus a sugary caffeinated poison. And who will come out on top? Binko looking for anything at the moment to get past the Audi, but so far pure water prevailing. Ronaldo was right. But the poison wants to get past. And this is it. Is this the move? Binko almost alongside the Audi, but the Audi staying defensive. Going into the corner. Binko's trying anything he can to get past Jim, but Jim, he's fought hard for that 4th place and he doesn't want to give it up yet. And it's a cracking little battle here between a 4th and a 3rd. Get some fancy camera angles of it and make it look special. We're down to the last 3 minutes of racing here, and this is the race between 4th and 5th. I want to look at Skyjacker. Oh, and there goes Binko for the inside of that, but now I think, has he got it? He's just about got it, but he's around the outside now. He's got the inside is Jim's. Jim's got no grip whatsoever. Slides to the back side of the track, and Binko gets that 4th place in the end. And Jim, cracking battle, my friend, with no grip whatsoever. You did all you could. So Racer Brown is 1 minute 13 seconds ahead of Matt Psycho. Lap the field, did I say? Maybe. Matt Psycho in second. He's 8.6 seconds ahead of Skyjacker, changing to those medium tyres near the end, as did Skyjacker after they came across the lapped Rivixter. Excuse me. And Skyjacker got all caught up lapping Rivixter and giving Matt Psycho the opportunity to get past up into 2nd place, although Matt Psycho was on some amazing pace before that. And Skyjacker was really just waiting for Mr. Psycho to catch him up. Binko was up there. He'd done a good strategy, but the soft tyres, he might have used a little too early. The field caught him up, and he had a small spin in the hairpins, putting him down. He pitted, and he's come through to grab that 4th place off of Jim, who won stop today. Did a cracking job to grab 4th, but those tyres are so old, so old. I'm surprised he can even make a corner. Flashman saying gutted for Jim. He did so well on them tyres. He did, man. That's what I was just saying. So it's a shame. But still, 5th place, good position, I'd say. Cracking stuff from Jim. The Rivs, ooh, the Rivs. He's out off to buy some chocolates for Skyjacker at the end of the race. But he's done a good job to finish ahead of Pat, and I think Pat was a bit faster than the Rivs today, and possibly, I'm not sure. But he's 11.7 seconds behind Rivixter, but he's only 3.7 seconds ahead of Daz. We've got 50 seconds left of this 90-minute race. Oh, and Daz is making a mistake up there, up the hill. I thought Daz was on a push last minute to try and catch up Pat, but he's made a mistake. And here we go. We'll watch Racer Brown coming around. I think he's going to do an extra lap more than anyone, so he will be a lap ahead of the field by the end, the way the timing's set out. There goes Matt Psycho. He crosses the line for another lap. And Skyjacker coming up and around. There's still 17 seconds on the... what was that? Racer Brown has lapped up to at least Matt Psycho. Oh my. I was only joking when I said it at the beginning of the race, but it virtually has come true. And so... and there goes Daz. Daz is the first to finish. No, Binko. Binko and Daz finishing at the same time. So Binko in 4th. Jim grabbing 5th. Pat's coming around now. He's quite a way off. Daz and Rivixter have finished. Rivixter ended up behind Daz for some reason. That's weird. I don't know what happened to the Rivs. He was ahead of Daz. We saw Daz have a big crash. And here comes Pat up the hill. Where's Racer Brown? He's alright. He's quite a way off yet. Matt Psycho, Skyjacker. So here comes Pat. Oh no, I think they're all ahead of him. So Racer Brown. There's someone on the road, isn't there? Because I can see him going around. 6. It's not Pat. Someone else is crossing the line. Skyjacker? No. Who knows? Someone's just gone up towards the line. I don't know who it is. And they've crossed it. I don't know who that was. Oh, it was Matt Psycho. Sorry, Matt Psycho got second. Here comes Racer Brown grabbing first. How weird. And there's third. Tickaboo, my son, Skyjacker. How bizarre. Sorry, yeah, Matt Psycho was ahead. He got second. Then Racer Brown got first. And then Skyjacker got third. And here we go. Pat coming across the line to grab 6th. What a weird way of finishing. They all finished in a different order. That was so bizarre. And there you go. You see, Racer Brown lapped the field. Virtually. All but Matt. Well done. You alien. That was weird. You're strange. You're too fast. No. Racer Brown, what a cracking race. Well done. We go up to the race results. I know that Skyjacker likes to nip off for his BBC costume drama. Poldark or Broadchurch, whatever's on at the moment. I don't know. Whatever the Beebs are showing. Mama Sykes saying, well worth the watch. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Thingy. Give up the ciggies. Ah, bless you. And Racer Brown says, it's the car, mate. It's the car, yeah. The one that's older than all the others. Fair enough. So, Racer Brown takes you in with a race time of 1 hour, 31 minutes, 05.636. Awesome stuff. Matt Psycho finishing second with a 1:30.50. That's bizarre. It's freaky that Matt Psycho finished before Racer Brown. But Matt Psycho finishing in second. Skyjacker grabs your final podium. A new podium person. That's 6. 6 people to see the podium this season. Well done, Skyjacker. Bingo, 4th. Oh, heart bleeds for you, man. But you went on the soft tyres, I believe, a little early. It was your prerogative. You did grab track position, but they were always going to be chasing you down with those medium when you went back to mediums. Jim doing an absolutely cracking job with that one stop. Those soft tyres at the end, they must have been absolutely obliterated. And he was managing to get the car to go the right direction. 6th for Pat, 7th for Daz. I don't know what happened between Daz and Rivixter. Rivixter was ahead of Daz, and we saw Daz making a small mistake on those final laps, but somehow he ended up ahead of the Rivs. Racer Brown got your fastest lap with a 1:18.765. Alien, sorry. And he got that on lap 50. So that's everything, I believe. Everything. We can't hang around because I know Mr. Skyjacker has got to get off and watch television. So I was your what have I got to tell you? Oh, watch out Monday night for a live stream of the Clio Cups round 6, the Clio Cup round 6, I believe it is. Yes, I think it's round 6. And then nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday, and we'll be streaming again Thursday with the WRX Challenge, streaming Friday with the Max 5s, and then streaming again Sunday with the next round of the HPEC. Binko says, not happy with my performance tonight. Good race, everyone. Cheers, Thingy. It's my pleasure. Skyjacker said, Racer Brown was genetically spliced after joining VRC. He was. I'm telling you. Pat saying, Riv spun on lap before the clock hit 0. Was very surprised to see him spinning just before going up the hill. He and Daz missed the clock at the line by a couple of seconds. There you go. That explains that one. And that's everything, I believe. Yeah, I've told you where we're going, what we're doing, how everyone is. Happy Father's Day to all you daddies out there. Well done. You did a great job. The actual job of being a dad is quite easy. I was your broadcaster and your commentator. I don't know, Doug Witherspoon. And I will catch you on Monday night. Come and join me for the Cleo Cups tomorrow night. It'll be alright. Be a laugh. Be fun. Okay. Matt Sykes in the chat saying, cracking race with Sky. That's Skyjacker, not Sky on television. We're not there yet. We're still on YouTube for now. And Skyjacker says, thank you, Thingy. No worries. It's my pleasure. I'm here for fun. Don't do it for you lot. Trust me. Right, that's it. I was your commentator, your broadcaster. I can't even remember who I was now. Who was I? Doug Witherspoon. That's it. Thank you very much. I'll catch you later. Flashman saying, love you. Love you too, Flashman. Give me 2 rings when you get in, just to make sure you're safe. Okay. See you guys. Bye.